Hi everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, whatever you're watching us. So thank you for joining my session. Continuing with the Spanish power here. My name is Llambí, and I'm going to show you the combination of Microsoft Teams and customer service. So Microsoft has recently delivered or released some new features, and also they published something on the roadmap. I'm going to show you everything what is coming. I know Microsoft Teams, it's the unified hub for any collaboration and any organization who wants to bring together all the enterprise tool in once. So that's why it makes sense if we are talking about unified experience to bring also the customer service hub and everything that is around what we usually call CRM. Before jumping into the topic, if you don't know me, you can find me in social media. I also have website and also YouTube channel. Unfortunately, it's everything in Spanish, but yeah, we have many tools to translate it, so feel free. Also, I'm one of the organizers of the B Summit ES, and also we have one online contest, which is the Power Quiz monthly contest. So funny. So bringing people virtually from around the world. So just find me, follow me if you need, and ask me after the session if you need anything about the topic or about Power Platform, Teams, or anything else. So, being honest, that's going to be my only and unique slide I have prepared for you. My decks are really short this time because I'm going to show you everything directly on the platform. So that's why I just wanted to put together some key concepts, some key ideas, why it makes sense to fusion MS Teams and customer service. And then, bam, we are going to jump directly on the system. Okay, so since Microsoft has started with Microsoft Teams and following, as I mentioned, the approach of unifying everything in one single hub, that's the same that has been happening in parallel for the CRM tools. So everything around omnichannel customer service, what we usually call customer engagement, it's been unified under the same platform. One of the examples is omnichannel tools have been deprecated and those have been merged into the customer service workspace. That's one of the examples. We also have the customer insights merged together with marketing. So Microsoft is moving on the same approach as unified platform, unified interface. So the next step is if I have a collaboration, such a potential tool of Microsoft Teams for communication and collaboration, why I don't bring it into customer service? Also, you have to think when we are talking about customer service, we are talking mostly customer support. We are talking about telephony and chat. Speaking about chat, of course, we have many Gen AI capabilities, chat GPTs, Power Virtual Agents that we can put as a first line support for a customer. But once the customer needs to reach an agent, if we already have communication tools as Teams, why we don't put a little bit of magic on these chats with the customer and we bring the capabilities of Microsoft Teams on top? That's what Microsoft is doing. So why to fusion MS Teams and customer service? Because it makes a lot of sense, because it's the roadmap that we've been seeing coming from Microsoft, and also because it makes sense to bring all the capabilities of Microsoft Teams in top of the customer service dialogues and communications with the customer. And when I am speaking about dialogues, it's not only about the chat, also for calls. So if you're bringing up your telephony system, and you are familiar with omnichannel and so on, you know that there is a way to connect your virtual telephony system into your omnichannel, now called Customer Service Hub, to bring calls from your customers, also inbound calls and outbound calls from virtual telephony systems. Now, what is approaching Microsoft is to put also Microsoft Teams as part of the available services that you can connect with. So that means that in the future, if I'm attending a case and I'm resolving a case through customer service hub, I will be able in just 2 clicks to start a call with my customer through Microsoft Teams. And I'm going to show you the first steps of that because the announcement is still on preview, but Microsoft has already done some steps forward. But you're going to see that every month the capability will be more robust and better. I apologize if you listen my dog. Oh dear, he's ill, so he's next to me. So just be aware that you might listen a dog. So why diffusion? As I mentioned, to keep unifying tools and interfaces to improve also the internal team communication. Okay, just figure out. I'm in the customer, just reaching by chat. The customer is telling me he's so upset because the coffee machine is not working. And in that specific moment, I don't find out any knowledge-based article, any specific similar use case or resolved case in the system that can support me. But I know someone who can help me. And that someone is the responsible technician or responsible manager of those specific products. What I can do at the same time, I'm speaking with a customer without leaving the platform, is reaching my colleague and asking, hey, do you know what is this about? I need help with that. That's the way how we can improve the team collaboration and also at the same time the fluent communication with a customer. I don't have to tell a customer, okay, hang on for a second, I need to reach out one of my colleagues, because that's something I can do in parallel and not switching on and off different tools and minimize and maximize just in the same interface. Of course, that will reduce the resolution time because I will reach my colleagues faster and everything will be more transparent. Any communication that I might have with my internal team, it's going to be something that will remain attached to the case or to the account or to the contact. It's been affected for it. So at any time, if someone has to jump into the case, everything, all the conversation, the chat itself from Microsoft Teams, everything is embedded on the case. Be careful what you say to your colleagues. Everything is being tracked. And also it improved the information sharing. I don't have to start jumping in and out, so copying the information of a case and sharing it to my colleague, because I can already share the information straightforward. I'm going to show you how. And also because when we talk about merging different tools, we are also merging the capabilities of every tool. And in that specific case, any AI feature that we have in top of Microsoft Teams, when we talk about Gen AI or translate capabilities or anything related with summarize, text summarizing, everything, it's been also added to the chat to the chat widget of customer service. So at the end, we are merging also the AI features of Microsoft Teams into customer service. That's the approach. Okay, let's take a look. I'm going to show you. So that's my environment. Let me just move that here. In case you have any question, I will say it. Okay, so that's my environment. As I mentioned, all the omni-channel tools have been deprecated almost a year ago. So what I'm going to open is the customer service workspace. I'm going to show you the first example from customer service. I'm going to open the hub better. Then I have everything in once. I'm going to show you how we bring the Microsoft Teams capabilities into Dynamics, into the customer service hub. It will take a while to load because it's taking all the dashboards, but it's worth it, I promise. And also, this is being released in parallel with the Copilot capabilities. So just figure out all the tools that we are just putting available for our agents and employees. So on my right hand, let me just zoom in a little bit. I think will be better. On the right hand, we have the Copilot assistant, and then we have the Team Chats assistant. So that's my dashboard as an agent. Right now, what I can see is all my chats from Microsoft Teams. And also I have the chats connected to records, to specific records. In that case, in that specific case, the record is a case. So I can see the chats connected to records. As you can see, I cannot start a new chat from here because that's my dashboard. Where I can start my chats from, I can start my chats right now from accounts, contacts, leads, that's something more for sales, and cases. So let me jump to any specific case it's been assigned to me, and I'm going to show you how. Of course, it's take a while to load. It's a trial environment, but it's fine. Let's take that specific case. Okay, so once I jump into a case, you see that automatically it's popping a new button. It's saying, okay, new connected chat. When I click here, it's the first thing. Using AI is trying to suggest contacts. You can customize the rules behind that. By default, it's trying to reach first the owner of the case if it's not you. In that case, it's me. So, of course, myself. And secondly, if there are similar cases that have been resolved, the suggested contacts will be the people who resolved those cases. For example, in that case, my roles have been assigned to title. So any case that has similar title and it's been resolved, it's going to recommend me this specific contact. I'm going to ask someone randomly. In that case, I need a lot of help. So I'm going to reach for Batman. Batman is on my organization, of course. And then the rest of features that I can customize is, first of all, the chat name. I would suggest always to have like such a prefix or something like this. Okay, double like a minus customer service minus and the name of the case, something that will easily identify what this chat is for. Because if you have thousands of chats, some of them are internal, some of them are related to cases, it will be easier to identify. Then I can include a note. Hey, can you help me? And then by default, I'm attaching the case title, when was this case created, the priority, and the customer who is linked to the case. This can be customized as well. This is done by the admin. I'm going to show you how. And yeah, so right now the only thing it's missing is to click on Start Chat. Now what I can see, it's popping me a new dialog with Batman. It looks like Teams, and effectively that Teams. That's Microsoft Teams. So if I jump into my Microsoft Teams and I go to chat, again, let me zoom in a little bit. I see that there is a new chat, a new chat with the same name I have created, and that's the chat I have initiated. So that's all in one. I don't have to look for the chat, attach it or pin it or whatever. It's here already. And also if I jump into Bruce Wayne, so Batman interface, I see here the chat as well. And I see how this message looks to me. It looks like an adaptive card. Hey, can you help me? And also I have a direct link to Dynamics. So first of all, we have to be really sure that this person has Dynamics I'm going to say it, license, and also it has permissions to see a case. Obviously, if it doesn't have permissions, once I click on open in Dynamics, I'm gonna face an error message. Question: can I limit the people that my agent can reach to? Yes. So this can be customized as well. I will quickly show you how is everything customized. You can customize that as well, and also you can decide who can add new people into the chat and who not. So that's how the chat looks like. So at any time when I close, I'm going to see all the chats connected to the milk container. That's the case. Who is the person I'm chatting to, and also other chats. Something I can do as well is connect into a channel. This can be done out of the box, or this can be done by an agent. Now, because I'm a powerful agent, I can decide to connect this specific case to a channel. This can be undone at any time, and I can unlink the case to the channel at any point. But obviously, it's a manual work. So after the case has been resolved, manually I have to unlink it from Teams. Question: Can I do it with Flow? Not now. So I'm going to be able to do that, but not for now. I was looking a way to do that, but the link is still too strong, and the ID linked, even if you remove it from the Dataverse record, it still is popping into Teams. So really weird. So for now, it's a manual work. Okay, something else I can do is if I'm already chatting with Batman, I can share information to him. For example, let me just move into Teams here. If I'm just typing something, I jump into Teams and I want to link some information of this case, one thing I can do is look for the Dynamics app. So while I'm writing down my message, I can look for the Dynamics app, look for the specific record table, sorry. Here you see, as I mentioned, accounts, opportunities, cases, contacts, and leads. I can define which case I'm linking, and automatically it's prompting an adaptive card. Again, can I customize this adaptive card? Yes. So this can be not customized, sorry. I can decide which is the information that I'm linking into the adaptive card. And also, I could, for example, send a similar case. Hey, take a look. This case is similar as the one I mentioned to you or I reach you to for. That's one sample. How we customize this and how we trigger those messages, I have already embedded in my customer service the collaboration hub. This is usually this can be found under the admin app, but I quickly linked the interface. So obviously I have to turn on all the Dynamics records to Microsoft Teams channels. That's something I need to do if I want to start chatting about Dynamics in Microsoft Teams. So I have to enable that. See, I have to enable the integration between both tools. Then what I have to do is turn on the Microsoft Teams chat. This is the right hand prop that you see on any specific Dynamics 365 apps, or if I want to have it in all the apps. Disclaimer here, it doesn't work for model-driven apps if those does not include Dynamics records. So don't try it out if you are having your own model driven, but you are not working with cases, with accounts, with contacts, with those specific tables, it will not work. And then, as you see here, I have all the records. I can connect Dynamics chats, so Microsoft chats from Dynamics. For example, this specific conversation, this is when I can, any chat that is coming from a customer, I'm going to show you, I can prop it into Microsoft Teams and I can specify how is this done. Also at the same time, at the same time, I can do it for case. And in this specific case, you see, these are the fields that I want to include into the adaptive card. This is how we customize the adaptive card I mentioned. And also, if you remember the suggested contacts, this is what I told you. So by default, it tries to suggest me the case owner by default. Then who was the person who lastly modified the case? Like, oh, come on, who modified my case and who updated my case? This is one of the examples. And then these are all the rules that we have available. Okay, that's one of the integrations that we have. The second biggest one I'm going to say is linking or creating a Microsoft Teams meeting either with one of my internal colleagues or either with a customer. By default is with a customer, but obviously your company has to have the availability to bring guest people into your meetings and also to give you permissions as agent to do that. By default is like this. So if you want to cut it off or prevent your agents to do that, you will need to modify it as well, because by default is like this. Any other case I have right now here. For example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new activity on my timeline. So disclaimer here, because this feature is in preview, you're going to see that right now I'm going to create through the appointment activity. But the plan as I have seen from Microsoft documentation, is to have a different activity that's going to be Microsoft Teams meeting. But so far, it's done how I'm going to show you. So I create the appointment, and when I create the appointment, I indicate this is a Teams meeting. Of course, I have to define the subject. For example, I'm going to say case stops or resolution. I could even include the same as the case, and by default is asking me the time and is linking the activity. This is done by default in Dynamics with the specific case, but that's really important, and I'm going to show you why. Don't touch it. By default, you see also that it's adding the contacts that are linked to the case. That's what I mentioned. By default is adding the people involved in the case, so the customer itself. If you don't want that, you will need to prevent your agents to do that and only ask for internal people. So you will need to touch a little bit the required attendees that can be added into the appointment form. So when I click save and close, there are two things that are happening. The first thing, obviously, is creating the new activity under the case. But the second thing is linking a Microsoft Teams meeting with this specific case. And that's awesome. You want to see why. One thing important I haven't done because I was not able, this is one of my development environments. But if you want your agent calendars, either from Outlook and from Teams, to be synced with the appointments created in Dynamics, you will need to enable the mailbox. So when you create a Teams meeting is sending you an email. If you don't do that, Outlook will not receive the invitation and will not sync the calendar. That's one important fact. So you have to configure it in the system. So now if I try to join the meeting, you see here I have the Teams icon. And as I mentioned, this is something that in the future will happen quite separately. So it will not be an appointment itself, but it will be a Microsoft Teams specific. We will see how Microsoft merge from one to another. That's why it's still on preview. So if I click on here, of course, I'm going to cancel. I'm going to continue in the browser. I'm going to show you which are the capabilities that we are bringing by merging the Microsoft Teams and the meeting and Dynamics record. So I'm going to silence myself, mute myself, and I'm going to join. Okay, now I could wait for my customer, or I could wait for one of my colleagues. For example, if I'm doing field service and I have seen that one of the cases have been escalated but not resolved, I could create directly from the timeline a Teams meeting with the technician in charge, asking, hey, what is happening with this specific case? See, here you see that I have the Dynamics 365 app linked to the meeting itself. So if I click here, what is doing the app is checking if this meeting it's been linked with any record, either contact, either case, or either an opportunity or lead. And in fact, it is. So you see here on the app, directly it's redirecting me to the case itself. So this is the case, this is the priority, the status, the description. And now from here, I can start creating tasks and I can start creating new activities. So this is doing two things. The first one, creating records in the timeline of the case. So I can create directly the task from Dataverse, from my Microsoft Teams, because in fact, what I'm doing is working with the Dynamics. And at the same time, I can use the notes. That's something I couldn't make it work for the browser version of Microsoft Teams. But if you click the notes and you write down anything, as soon as you finish the meeting, the notes are attached to the timeline of your case or your record that you link to the meeting. So again, that's awesome because it's giving you all the information and transparency that your agents will need in the future. Okay, just quick pause. How else can we configure? So let me quickly, okay, we have 5 minutes already. Customer Service Admin Center. So when I'm configuring omnichannel, and this is what is coming as next in in between Microsoft Teams and Dynamics. It's about the chats and the channels from my agents. So give me 1 second. Let me see if I can jump. No. So collaboration. Yeah. So when I'm using the embedded chat using Teams, that's how we configure what I show you just recently. It's the same interface. If I come back to collaboration, I have the meeting integration using Teams. That's what I'm gonna quickly show you on the documentation because I couldn't make it work. I could display the icon to start the call, but it didn't work. So basically, the next feature that's going to be available is as soon as you have an omni-channel chat. So, for example, you have a portal chat on your on your website. So you have your portal and you have embedded the chat from omni-channel. Right now, what you can do is chatting, and the same chat is pop up into the customer service workspace. So your agents can chat with your customers. The next thing it's going to be able to do is to be able, your agent, to call your customer. So your customer is at the end reaching something and reaching you by a chat on a website. So at least they have browser. So what they are trying to achieve in the future is, if I need more details, instead of calling you through a telephony system and then it's going to be on your phone, what I want to be able to do is do it through Teams. So the agent will be able to call you through Teams, either from browser or either if you have provided a phone number. That's really great. I must say I couldn't make it work. So that's the newest features. And also, I guess that's going to be really huge for all the contact centers that have already a virtual telephony system and they want to move to a Microsoft one, pure Microsoft one. And then that means Teams call, same as we have for field service. Yeah, these are all the exciting news. As I mentioned, more will come because I'm sure that Microsoft will keep unifying all the tools and bringing the capabilities from one or another. So I'm really excited. I hope you are as well. And I'm here for any question that you might have. Also, if you rate my session, I'm going to be really appreciated. And yeah, if you have any question after the session, you can just reach me on social media.
Okay, lovely stuff. Finishing with a good amount of time, which is a rarity.
I know. I'm known for my on-time sessions.
Oh man.
Thank you, Luke.
No problem at all. Okay, if there's any questions for our speaker, feel free to drop them in the chat or reach out on social media. As you can see, please again rate these sessions with the links provided. We really appreciate your feedback. Otherwise, I think we're going to have a bit of a quiet room for the next 20 minutes or so before our next speaker comes in.
Yeah, I must say my session was 30 minutes, so I did perfectly in time. Thank you.
No, it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.